Will and Grace, but he's here right now at CityLine. It's Eric McCormack, everyone. We love having you here.
Thank you.
Because, you know, this is sort of the start. You're a Scarborough boy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
This is, thank you.
Scarborough in the house.
In fact, the last real job I had before becoming an actor was at the Eaton Center at Tip Top Tailors.
Get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boxing Day 1984 was the last day I had a real job.
Well, probably Boxing Day was the thing that sent you out of there, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I cannot deal
Except
with
I
these
knew
people.
I was going to Stratford, so I walked. Everyone else was freaking out about sweaters and socks, and I was like, I was peaceful. I coasted through Boxing Day.
Like, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
And off to do amazing things like Will and Grace, which had a really significantly long run, was so brilliant. Tell me a little bit about what it was like working on that juggernaut of a show.
It was one of those things where, from the pilot, I mean, Deborah Messing and I sat on the couch after we'd shot the pilot, which took about 2 hours, and we just stared at each other like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, we just kind of knew, and it happened so fast, and it became this thing. It became where people wanted to come and hang out for a week, and the guest stars we had and the fun, it was just like a sandbox. Stage 17 was a sandbox that we played in for 8 years.
And the chemistry. I mean, so many times you'd probably go in as an actor and see an incredibly brilliant script, but then to also have critics, have it be critically acclaimed, but then have the public embrace it is a rare thing.
Right. Well, at the time, yeah, certainly 98 was, you know, we were pushing the envelope a little bit on the content, which now is way more commonplace. But
yeah.
And it was a living, breathing thing. The scripts weren't always brilliant on Wednesday when we first read them, but the writers would rewrite and we'd play. And then on the night, some of the jokes, if I see a rerun now, I'll hear jokes that I don't remember saying because they were written about 4 minutes before I said them.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
So there was a freshness to it.
Yeah, but like really, I watch Will and Grace now, and I'm thinking this stuff was racy.
I know.
I don't know you could get away with that. It was ahead of its time.
I think there was a standards and practices person working there that didn't understand some of the gay jokes. And it was just, I said, we're never going to get away with this. And we did.
You totally did. Okay, well, now you're in town doing something completely different. Tell me a little bit about this show. The concert I never gave, except for like 2,000 times in my bedroom.
Is it a long enough title for you?
I love it.
It's a very accurate title. I spent from 13 to 18 when everyone else was playing sports and dating girls, I was in my bedroom pretending to be a rock star. And I took it very seriously. This wasn't just like a hairbrush. I mean, I would dress up like Alice Cooper and stay dressed like that for dinner, much to my father's chagrin. But it was, these were my formative years, and I always dreamed of one day actually doing it, having a band, doing a concert. And I did it in LA a couple of years ago and raised a lot of money for Stand Up to Cancer. And then this time around, I'm going to do it in Toronto on January 23rd at the Winter Garden, one night only. Me and a crack band, and we're raising money for Rethink Breast Cancer.
I love that. I love that you're doing that. We're going to talk a little bit about why Rethink Breast Cancer, but first, let's give them a taste of the show. Okay, we've got a clip of it right now.
Pretty much any weekday, 4:30. My fantasy was this. It's just like 462. Performing all of a night at the opera in full Freddie Mercury tights. I'm one. I am one.
How many instruments are you playing in this thing?
You know, when your instruments are tennis rackets and hockey sticks, you can play. I am a virtuoso. There's virtually nothing that I can't play unless it's a real instrument, and then I can.
Is it nerve-wracking going into singing as an actor? I mean, obviously you're a singer. You can.
Well, I always did it, and I started musical theater, but it was more rock and roll and pop that was my passion, you know. So because of Will and Grace, that's part of what the show is about, is that I got this bucket list of songs I always wanted to do, and because we were always asked, particularly here in Toronto, for Gilda's Club every year and various things, I got opportunities to sing songs I always wanted to sing. So some of the songs I'm singing in this show are kind of the orphan songs, the B-sides. I've kind of made it my own, but it's really the stories that I tell that are, I mean, they come from the point of view of a 15-year-old Scarborough boy who can't believe his luck, you know, and that's kind of the fun. That's the fun of the show.
I love it. Okay, so Rethink Breast Cancer is important to you. This is an organization that starts to give early awareness to breast cancer. You've been affected by it.
Right. Well, certainly my mother and father both passed away from cancer, but my mother beat breast cancer 33 years ago before succumbing years later to bladder cancer. So cancer is not my favorite thing. And I always decided that when I do the show, whatever city I do the show in, I'll find a great cancer organization. And Rethink Breast Cancer is helping young women become more aware and supporting them, and they do great work.
Yeah.
And so it's a great thing, ladies. In a couple of weeks, your husbands are going to go, oh my God, it's Christmas, I don't know what to do. So just tell them you want 2 tickets to this show. It'll benefit breast cancer, and it will. You'll have a great time.
It's a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Give it as a gift. We're so proud of you. You're doing amazing, and the show looks awesome. Eric McCormack, everyone, give him a big round of applause.